I have found my Eden. That's what wealthy New York publisher Lois Maxon said after she purchased this extraordinary property in 1963 for some $12,500. The moniker would eventually stick. Eden Gardens State Park may only be 3 miles north of the bustling beach settlements known as Seagrove and Seaside, Florida, but this place feels lifetimes away. It's sometimes said that people living along Florida's scenic Highway 30A live in a bubble. And if that's true, then this is a bubble within a bubble. A pocket of preservation with some of its history well documented, but most of it entrusted to the ancient spirits that call this place home. Some say the centerpiece of Eden Garden State Park is the 5,500 square foot Wesley House. Of course, locals know the star is really the 600-year-old wedding tree, as it's called. But we'll stick to the script for now. William Henry Wesley purchased this land in the 1890s for his wife Katie and their rapidly growing family. The grand estate they built would serve as a hub for their lumber business, which operated here from 1890 until after World War I. Remnants of the old mill can still be seen from the shores of Tucker Bayou, tucked away in the southeast corner of Choctawhatchee Bay. The Wesley family called this home until Katie passed away in 1953. Apparently, none of her 7 children cared much for the place, and so it was sold. Ranger Wesley Myers helps watch over this very special place.
My favorite place when I come out here to visit the park is the water. Anywhere by the water, I go down to the fishing dock and sit, and you can watch the mullet jump down there and view the birds and all the wildlife. I think a lot of people are seeking out state parks in this area, and because of the uniqueness of the property, they want to come see it. It's not a coastal park, which so many of them around here are. You come and you see the majestic grounds, the large mature trees, the live oak trees, the home the Wesley house has, all the history tied to it with the antiques. It's just a really unique snapshot of that time period when someone can come out here and learn about the Florida Park Service, the natural resources that we have, and everything that the park has to offer. A lot of people come out here to stroll the gardens, and the springtime is really the best time because that's when all the flowers are in full bloom. The temperatures are great. The wedding tree is said to be over 600 years old, and that's just amazing. I mean, think about everything that's happened out here during that time period and all the people that have passed through here. Yeah, the trees are really one of the most majestic portions of the park. If I could describe the park in 2 words, simply it would just be peaceful and preserved.
The house sat abandoned for a decade, just long enough for local children to fabricate tales of hauntings, strange disappearances, and other paranormal activities. Perhaps fittingly, the Wesley house would later serve as the backdrop for the 1972 horror film Frogs, a rather odd title for a movie in which all of the murdering is done by every slimy swamp critter other than frogs. Nonetheless, this decidedly B flick starred Ray Milland, Sam Elliott, and Joan Van Ark, and received a blushingly generous score of 29% on Rotten Tomatoes. Now a cult classic that's been hailed as the greatest horror movie you've never seen, this eco-film warns of the dangers of man trying to rule over a kingdom that he has no right to call his own. Sounds like another story I've heard about Eden. Today, with the benefit of 50 years of hindsight, ironically, the film's horror doesn't manifest in treacherous amphibians, but rather in the sad ecological lessons we've yet to learn. After Miss Maxon acquired the property in 1963, she reportedly spent $1 million restoring the home and its grounds to former glory. That would be over $8 million in today's dollars. The original yellow heart pine floors are still here, as are 95% of the home's original glass pocket windows. This many trees and tropical storms and ghosts and mischievous neighborhood kids, and 95% of the windows are still intact after 100 years? I'd say that's pretty solid construction. In addition to the home restoration, Miss Maxon added lush ornamental gardens and a reflection pool that teems with lily pads and koi fish. It all served as an idyllic backdrop for her remarkable collection of first editions and rare antiquities, with an emphasis on late 18th century French furniture. If you love a good stroll and you're not a Renitaphobe, then you're in the right place. While the Wesley house makes the brochure cover, it's the centuries-old Spanish moss-draped oak trees that leave the deepest impression. Meander through 163 acres of twisting, towering oaks, as well as camellia, rose, and butterfly gardens. Enjoy a picnic by Tucker Bayou where you might land a redfish or a speckled trout, or perhaps something even bigger. In 1968, on Christmas Eve, Miss Maxon donated it all to the state of Florida. Her home, the land, the timeless oaks, her gorgeous gardens, her prized antiquities, and the frogs. Quite a gift, wouldn't you say?